The history of artificial intelligence. How, when, where, why, and who created it. Imagine a world where machines can think, learn, and even create, where artificial intelligence isn't science fiction, but an everyday part of life. That's the world we're living in today. AI writes emails, diagnoses diseases, drives cars, and powers tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Midjourney. But to truly understand where we're headed, we first need to understand where it all began. In this video, we're diving deep into the history of artificial intelligence, how it started, who created it, why it exists, and how it evolved into the powerful force it is today. Let's rewind, not just to the last century, but even further. The dream of intelligent machines is ancient. Philosophers like Aristotle and later Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz imagined systems of logic and reasoning that could, in theory, be mechanized. In the 19th century, George Boole developed mathematical logic, the foundation for computer science. By the 1940s, as electronic computers began to emerge, scientists started asking a bold question: can machines think? One of the most important figures in this story is Alan Turing. In 1950, Turing published a groundbreaking paper titled Computing Machinery and Intelligence. In it, he posed the famous question, can machines think? He introduced what we now call the Turing test, a thought experiment that challenges whether a machine can exhibit intelligent behavior indistinguishable from a human. Turing's work laid the theoretical groundwork, but the official birth of artificial intelligence as a field came a few years later, in the summer of 1956, at a small workshop held at Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire. This workshop, now known as the Dartmouth Conference, marked the moment AI became a formal field of study. The event was organized by John McCarthy, a young computer scientist who would later become known as the father of AI. Alongside him were other brilliant minds: Marvin Minsky, Claude Shannon, Herbert Simon, and Alan Newell. They believed that every aspect of learning or intelligence can, in principle, be so precisely described that a machine can be made to simulate it. And just like that, artificial intelligence became more than an idea. It became a research field with a clear goal: to build machines that think. In the early years, progress was fast and exciting. In 1956, Alan Newell and Herbert Simon created the logic theorist, often called the first artificial intelligence program. Not long after, they developed the General Problem Solver, another pioneering program. Meanwhile, in 1958, John McCarthy developed the Lisp programming language, which became the standard for AI research for decades. At the same time, Frank Rosenblatt introduced the perceptron, an early neural network inspired by the human brain. It was an exciting idea, but the technology of the time wasn't powerful enough to fulfill its promise. In the 1960s and 1970s, early optimism led to bold predictions. Some thought we'd have thinking machines within a generation, but progress stalled. Computers weren't fast enough and data was scarce. Funding dried up. This period of disappointment became known as the AI winter. In fact, there were two major AI winters, one in the 1970s and another in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Yet, behind the scenes, progress continued. In the 1980s, AI made a comeback with expert systems, computer programs that mimicked human decision-making by applying a set of rules. One famous example was Mycin, a research system designed to diagnose blood infections. Expert systems found real-world use in medicine, finance, and manufacturing, but they had limitations. They couldn't learn or adapt on their own. Meanwhile, researchers kept working on neural networks. The ideas were promising, but they needed more data and computing power than the world had at the time. That changed in the 2000s. The explosion of digital data and the rise of GPUs, graphics processing units, sparked a revolution in machine learning and deep learning. Instead of programming machines with fixed rules, we trained them with data. AI began to learn patterns in text, images, and speech, and improve over time. But even before the deep learning era, AI made headlines. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov, proving that machines could outperform humans in strategic thinking. In 2011, IBM Watson shocked the world by beating two of the best human players in the trivia game Jeopardy! Watson could understand complex questions, search a massive database, and deliver answers in real time, a major milestone in natural language processing. Then came the deep learning breakthrough. In 2012, researchers from the University of Toronto used a deep neural network called AlexNet to win an international image recognition competition. AlexNet outperformed all previous techniques and opened the door to powerful models that could learn from massive amounts of data. The rise of companies like Google, DeepMind, OpenAI, and Anthropic brought AI into the spotlight. In 2016, DeepMind's AlphaGo defeated the world champion in the ancient board game Go, a feat many thought was still decades away. AI was no longer just reactive, it was strategic, creative, and even intuitive. Then came the generative AI explosion. In 2022, OpenAI released ChatGPT, a powerful chatbot built on the GPT 3.5 language model. It could write essays, poems, code, and even simulate human conversation. Soon after, tools like GPT-4, Claude from Anthropic, Gemini from Google, DALL-E, and Midjourney arrived, generating images, videos, music, and more. Suddenly, AI wasn't just analyzing data, but let's not forget the why behind all of this. AI was never just about building smart machines. It was about exploring intelligence itself, understanding how we think, and using that knowledge to build tools that can help us in medicine, education, climate science, and even art. In summary, the key events in the history of AI are as follows. 1. The dream of intelligent machines is ancient, with roots in philosophy and logic dating back to Aristotle, 4th century BCE, and Leibniz, 17th–18th centuries. 2. The dream of intelligent machines is ancient, with roots in philosophy and logic dating back to Aristotle and Leibniz. Alan Turing laid the theoretical foundation for AI in Quasar 1950, asking if machines can think and introducing the Turing test. 4. Restricted intelligence became a formal field at the 1956 Dartmouth Conference, led by John McCarthy and other pioneers. 5. Early AI programs and languages, like Logic Theorist, General Problem Solver, and Lisp, set the stage for decades of research. 6. Progress was not linear. The field experienced periods of excitement and disappointment known as AI winters due to technical and funding limitations. 7. Expert systems in the 1980s showed AI's practical value, but were limited by their inability to learn or adapt. 8. Sub-licensed neural networks and machine learning concepts existed early, but only flourished with more data and computing power in the 2000s. 9. Landmark achievements like Deep Blue's chess victory, 1997, IBM Watson's Jeopardy win, 2011, and AlphaGo's triumph, 2016, demonstrated AI's growing capabilities. 10. The deep learning revolution, sparked by breakthroughs like AlexNet in 2012, enabled AI to learn from massive data and outperform previous methods. 11. Generative AI tools such as ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DALL-E, and Midjourney emerged in the 2020s, allowing AI to create text, images, music, and more. Artificial intelligence has come a long way from philosophical ideas to a transformative technology shaping our future. We are still at the beginning of the AI journey, with much more to discover and decide as a global society. If you enjoyed this journey through the history of AI, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to our AI Desk channel, and ring the notification bell. Because in the next video, we'll dive into how AI actually works, from machine learning to neural networks, explained in simple terms. Thanks for watching and see you in the future.